Well, hello there. I'm Ray, and if you don't know, I've logged over 5,000 hours in Final Fantasy XIV.
Degenerate behavior.
However, I am just now getting off my ass to leveling the rest of my jobs to cap. In our last episode, which I highly recommend you watch, we began our journey and I crunched some numbers to make an outline for a leveling plan. But it turned out I calculated it all wrong because I forgot to consider a few key components.
Dumbass.
Which is why I want to take the opportunity before we get into my progress this week to speak directly to the sprouts, casuals, and even maybe some veterans who just forgot some of the mechanics in the game that help you level even faster. I know that these work because instead of having to do everything for 5 days, which I thought I would have to, I ended up completing everything within 3 days. So these things make a big difference. But before we get into it, let's talk about all of the ways that you can earn experience on your Disciple of War and Disciple of Magic jobs. But before we get into the list, let's first take a moment to thank our sponsor for today's episode, the Otter Fountain from the pre-patch notes for 6.3. Just look at our little man. Mwah! Kiss! Anyway, here's just a very quick list of all the things you can do to get experience in Final Fantasy XIV. We've got guild tests, hunting log, sightseeing log, Babeyyy, main scenario questline, side quests, deep dungeons, the hunt, leave quests, challenge log, wondrous tales, fates, PvP, tribe quests, and duty roulette. If you have any questions about any of these things, I'm happy to try to answer them. There's also plenty of resources online on what these things are and how to unlock them. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this informational section, which is how do you boost the speed at which you're leveling? Luckily, there's a lot of different ways you can do this in game, and I have listed them in order of least effort required to most effort required. The first thing, the easiest thing, is rested experience. Whenever you spend time or you log out in a sanctuary, you will get rested experience. And rested experience works kind of like a gauge. You use up rested experience when you get experience. Whenever you have rested experience to use up, it's a 50% experience boost. You can tell when you're in a sanctuary by looking at your experience bar, and if there's a little moon there, congratulations, you're building rested experience. You can tell how much you have by looking at your experience bar. It's going to be like the turquoisey section of your experience bar, or if you're close to using it all up, it might be brown. The second way is by entering a duty and being put either with a mentor as a returner or sprout, or the other way around, by being a mentor in a duty with a returner or sprout. Both people get experience, so it's kind of a passive way that you can get a boost, but you can't necessarily force it, it's just luck based. Then there's also the Armoury Bonus, which is a bonus that you get whenever you're trying to level a job that is below your highest level job, if that makes sense. So like, let's say you have a level 75 Black Mage and you decide, I'm going to pick up Samurai, which is level 50. You will still get a boost, even though your Black Mage isn't to level cap. For jobs that you're leveling from 1 to 79, it'll be a 100% experience boost, and then for levels 80 to 90, it goes down to 50%. But the nice thing about this is that it means once you get a job to cap, you basically have this boost for all your other jobs. Then we have wearable items, like Menfina's ring or the brand new ring. Here's a chart with all the wearable items that give you an experience boost. Some of them you can't get anymore, and some you have to do specific things, so I recommend looking those up, but it can also be just a nice boost if you happen to already have some of these items. Then there's something called the Road to 80, which is a buff that's given to characters created on preferred worlds and gives you a 100% experience boost. This is basically an incentive from the devs to try to push more traffic onto worlds that are less populated, so it may not be applicable to you if you're just trying to join a group of friends that already have characters on specific worlds, but if you're looking to start the game with a group of people, consider making characters on a preferred world. You can find which worlds are currently preferred worlds on the lodestone. Then there are consumable items. Any kind of food will give you a buff called Well Fed. This buff will give you a 3% boost from basically any food that you eat. The Well Fed buff lasts for 30 minutes, but you can also eat 2 portions of food to make it an hour. This is just a quick, easy way. You can buy some stuff off of the market board like raisins or cookies. Any cheap food will still work for this. The last thing, and the thing that can require the most effort, is FC buffs or Squadron manuals. You can't have both active at the same time if they have the same effect, so you do have to choose one over the other. It can be passive if you are in an FC or if you join an FC that runs Heat of Battle as an action, which is just a buff that gives you a percentage increase depending on which version it is. Heat of Battle 1 is a 5% boost, Heat of Battle 2 is a 10% boost, and Heat of Battle 3 is a 15% boost. However, Heat of Battle 3 does take a bit of time to get as it is a time-gated resource. And if you're in an FC that doesn't do actions, or you haven't gotten there yet, or you can't afford these specific actions, Squadron battle manuals are probably going to be the way for you. Squadron battle manuals will give you a 15% boost, which is just as good as Heat of Battle 3, although again, if you do use it while you have Heat of Battle 3 up, it does overwrite Heat of Battle. The thing about squadrons though is that you have to unlock them, and then you have to build a squadron, and then you also have to level them high enough to accept the missions that will give battle manuals as a reward.
Sounds bad to me, Chief.
But once you get there, you can send out your squadron every day to try to do that mission, and you'll get 10 battle manuals per successfully completed mission. I think that's about all I have in terms of ways that you can boost your experience gain and your leveling process. But if anyone else has some ideas, feel free to share them in the comments below. Now let's get back to my journey of leveling all my alt jobs to cap. This is where we're starting off our second week of level grinding for Warrior. In this episode, we're going to cover 2 weeks worth of grinding, and this will probably be the format going forward, just so I have enough time to edit. Don't ask me why I decided that today was the day to turn on my webcam. I assume I just had not looked into a mirror that day at all. But anyway, to kick things off in week 2, we're starting with Leveling Roulette, which landed us in a particularly rough run of Zamile Darkhold. Then we did Trials Roulette and got Thorn March. Always make sure you dance when they summon King Mog to maximize fun. Very important. After that, we completely obliterated X-Death in Deltascape V 4.0 for normal raid roulette. We next lost in Frontline Roulette, but we did manage to win our first level. Next, I didn't realize that I'd already gotten to 80, so I did do the Ananta Tribe quests, followed by the Pixie Tribe quests. Day 2, it was a Tuesday, so I picked up my Wondrous Tales, which, as I've explained before, I always do as unsynced as possible to make the process go a bit faster. Usually I have to do at least 1 or 2 runs of something synced to get all my seals, but I got lucky this week. We did a run of Aurum Vale, the Fractal Continuum, Malik as well, Garuda, Ramu, Thornton, Father Fister, and 2 more runs of Aurum Vale. Turned that in and got our second level. Following that, we completely smashed our Pixie quests as well as the Arca Sidara quests and ripped from them our third level. For roulettes that day, we got Sohm Al for leveling, Ifrit for trials, Alphascape 1.0 for normal roulette, and finished up the week with Frontline, which secured us our fourth level. Week 3, and don't you dare ask me why the footage looks like this, how dare you. We started strong with our Wondrous Tales. We crushed 3 runs of Aurum Vale as well as a run of Siren Song C, Garuda, Shiva, Ultima, the Binding Coil of Bahamut turn 1, and yeah, okay, we did have to run P1N synced, but it wasn't too bad. We turned that in and moved on to our tribe quests for the Arca Sidara and wrenched from them our first level of the week. Then we did our Pixie quests, and that felt like enough for one day. Day 2, we got the Great Google Library for our second level of the week. Then we got Ifrit for trials and Sigmascape V 3.0 for normal raid. Following that, we knocked out our tribe quests, including the Ananta, because I completely forgot I had already leveled above them. Then we finished up the day with Frontlines and got our third level of the week. Day 3, we kicked it off with Tower of Zot for leveling roulette and nabbed our fourth level of the week. For the rest of our roulettes that day, we got Titan for trials, Sigmascape version 4.0 for normal raid, and finished roulettes with Frontlines. While there, we picked up our fifth level of the week. Then we finished up the day with tribe quests. Day 4, I decided to keep going because 5 levels was not enough. So we did a Frontline Roulette and Trials, which put us in Battle on the Big Bridge, and no, I did not learn anything between the last time and this time. But that's totally fine, because our sixth level of the week was waiting for us. Day 5, I had enough energy for a cheeky little frontline roulette and a super quick and easy run of the Praetorium for MSQ roulette, and that brought us to our
Samuel's level of the week,
which makes us
level 90, first milestone completed. Yeah.
all tanks are now to level cap. Go team! Let's take a look at where we've finished up for the week. Looks pretty alright to me. That's gonna be all for this episode. Next episode, we're picking up Astrologian and gunning for our second milestone of getting all healers to cap. If you've enjoyed today's video, please feel free to like and subscribe. If you have thoughts and opinions, you can share them, but if you're mean to me, Nafako will not allow you access to her big naturals.
I want to put my face there.
I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!